Like he played for some other teams, but definitely this is the best team that he played so far for. And like I love his Queen of Pain, what he does with the hero, and a lot of the teams when they're playing against HellRaisers, they tend to ban it.
Yeah. Well, we have a draft, I believe, coming up as HellRaisers against OG Game 1 of this best of 3 is about to kick off and get underway. It looks like Sani is the one drafting as OG Seb is in the captain's seat. Do I need to mute co-broadcasters in game? Where is that? Mute. There we go. I started to hear you twice and I got a little bit worried, Lacoste, but we're all good.
All right, let me just check my settings. Mute co-broadcasters. Yep, done. So, Ember Spirit. Man, I don't know if you're watching a lot of these high-level pubs, but there's Ember Spirit in every single game. A couple of days ago, I opened up 5 top games, the most watched ones, and every single one of them had Ember Spirit.
And it looks like people have hard committed for this Spirit Vessel build as well.
Yeah.
Like I was always so used to seeing, the Maelstroms. I got used to the Blade Mail build every once in a while. Like, cool, Blade Mail on Ember, that's pretty nice. Armor, give a bit of damage reflection back. And now everyone is just Spirit Vessel, every single game. I mean, it gives you a lot, like, Ember Spirit now just feels like a tempo mid. It no longer feels like we're going to scale and get into that, second or third item, wait for the Ember Spirit to hit 25 minutes. Now it's Ember is level 7. We're going to run around the map, chasing people to outposts, diving under towers, catching them when they're trying to TP home, and you're just looking for kills nonstop.
It is. It's just this hero feels so strong in the meta right now. I love when Ember Spirit is paired up with any kind of hero that has tower damage. Like usually you can get kills, but sometimes if your safe laner is not providing, of course, if Ember is a mid in this case, you need to have someone who can hit the buildings.
You sure do. And we're seeing a lot of these really nice support pairings. Keeper of the Lane has been very prominent. Oracle, I love the fact that he's really come back strong into the meta. But also these kind of multiple saving support, like Oracle, Shadow Demon. Kotl gives you the Will-O-Wisp to reset a fight just out of your ulti. It gives so much more, tactical maneuvering available to these teams. And I think that's one of the great reasons why I like watching Liquid right now. Insania on these saving supports, Oracle in particular, positioning from position 5s in particular seems very important right now.
It is. I always loved when you have one support. We are not in this meta right now where you have Legion Commanders, Omni Knights, Abaddons off lane anymore. And then you have position 4 or 5 who can, have another layer of save. But still having one save in the team just always feels good.
Especially when there's heroes like Ricky and Lycan and stuff out there that just dive backlines, having, if your one support that can save gets jumped, all of a sudden just being dumpstered by this hero that's diving in behind your cores. What do we expect coming up in this first stage for HellRaisers then?
They banned out Leshrac, so at one point they might consider getting a Slark Phantom Lancer. These are my guess is not in the first phase but in the second one. And it's also a tempo controlling hero which has a mixed damage, magical and physical, and puts a lot of pressure on the towers. This is a forgotten hero, Enchantress. I don't think many teams are playing it right now, but teams should not be sleeping on this hero. This hero is still a lane dominator, can be played at multiple roles. Mostly it's going to be 4/5. OG, I know that they run Shaker as position 5 as well, where No-Tail just runs around the map, gets Blink Dagger eventually, but it's mostly about the Fishers.
Yeah, setting things up for them. And Ench, I feel like we're seeing, a lot of this, enchant build, not going for the heal early on. Some people, skipping heal entirely until you're level 10 or something. And you're just picking up creeps. You're running at people. You're taking objectives, diving under towers. As HellRaisers responding with a Pango after their Oracle first pick. So potentially here, this could be their 5 and 4, but of course they can flex the Pangolier across multiple roles. As like you're saying, the Enchantress could theoretically be a 3, but very likely in the hands of the 4 or 5 in this game.
They ban out Monkey King. It's OG's probably favorite hero.
Even without Thompson.
Yeah. So far, it looks like it's going to be Earthshaker 4, Enchantress 5. That's just my guess. But definitely already strong lanes with these two heroes. As you mentioned, Pangolier can be played at multiple roles. Mostly it is position 4, but some of the CIS teams, they tend to pick him more as position 3 if the matchup is good. Just give him that farm priority so he gets his items faster.
And I do kind of like the Pango it doesn't like counter, but it helps to stop the potential death ball push strat that OG could build up, right? With like Enchantress, Lycan. The Beastmaster is banned first phase by HellRaisers there, so that's obviously an indication that they don't want to be matching up against that just early 5-man pressure from OG. Troll Beastmaster taken out.
Is just an extremely good hero right now. Like some of the heroes received nerfs, but there's some also indirect buffs. Even though Necrobook got nerfed over the last two patches, it's still an insanely good hero that builds into Necrobook. Helm of the Dominator, you can even skip Helm, just go for Necrobook. I saw Zai having like 13-minute Necrobook, and then you're running around the map getting rid of the vision, just controlling all the areas with the Hawk and your Necro units, and also putting a lot of pressure. You can't just hit Necro units 13 minutes in.
Well, it's like 2 games in a row, right? Or it's the same series where Zai had like a 13-minute Necro 3, and then Matumba Man had like a 6-minute Necro 1 on Lycan, then he got like a 12-minute Necro 3. They were like racing each other to see how fast they could buy it up. Very quick responses here in the draft as well. Weaver for HellRaisers, Death Prophet coming out after, as that Void Spirit, again, a flexible double pick from OG, Void Spirit and Dragonite, both able to shift across multiple roles. And HellRaiser's still not giving away where the Pango's going, because this could be a 4 Weaver, could be a 4 Pango. You're not quite sure where they're heading just yet. They have even played Death Prophet support, but I think here Maposhka has the Oracle, so it's very unlikely to go that way. So probably the Xani mid DP, I'd assume.
I believe they ran Death Prophet as their offlaner one game as well.
Oh,
so they can still have Pangolier as 4. All these picks are very versatile besides Oracle. It just says Oracles are position 5, rest, you try to guess.
And then it makes it very difficult for OG to get advantageous lane matchups here as well. I'm just wondering where Void Spirit's going to be going, because we have seen Sumail play it, and even with the ping disparity, he's been doing an exceptional job on it. Dragon Knight gives them a nice bit of tower push, so you've got heroes here that can pair up together, right? Earthshaker and Void Spirit can be your kind of kill threat, your assassins once you get out of the laning stage and into the mid game. Fisher into the jump in from Astral Step. Dragon Knight, Enchantress, your more tower pressure focused heroes. I'm just wondering, laning stage wise, I don't know if it feels awkward, but it doesn't feel like they've got, that oomph. They don't have that real power in the laning stage, but they've got sustain and they've got stayability in lane for sure. While HellRaisers, they've got so much ways to gap close, jump people, magic nuke damage, and kind of whittle down their opponents.
It's an okay Weaver game. Same goes for Pangolier, even Death Prophet. There was no real burst there, and also it's a Death Prophet with Oracle. So these Spirit Siphons, if she gets them off, they can't burst her down. Oracle's going to be there to save Death Prophet.
Yeah, one of the big reasons they banned out Troll, right? The combo with False Promise and Battle Trance, very good. So now they've got the DP with it. Final ban for HellRaisers. It's so difficult banning against OG, honestly. Enchantress, Earthshaker, you're 5, you're 4. Void Spirit, Dragon Knight. You just have no idea where any of these are going. What does OG need? Do they want team fight to go with the Earthshaker? Do they want more push to go with Dragon Knight, Enchantress? Honestly, I feel like they just want some big punching hero that can do magic nuke damage, just take down a hero, slay the Death Prophet. Lina always used to come to mind, but I feel like Lina's in a weird place right now.
It is. I'm not a big fan of Lina. You need to snowball with her, then you die once or twice. It just feels like her game is over, and I don't know. Lina, for me, there's always a better hero than Lina. Like, she might dominate some matchups, you can outrange them, but at the end of the day, you're still a squishy hero that if anyone gets on top of you, you just straight up die.
Yeah, like you have to defensive Yules and then you still die anyway. Especially with no saving heroes here on OG side. Lycan, there's the ban out, so it does tie in with the whole push around Dragonite and Enchantress, and of course a hero that they've done very well with historically. HellRaisers, time to show your hand a little bit here. And it could be Weaver 1, Pango 4, Oracle 5, DP 2, and we're looking for like a Funnick teamfight hero potentially. If they go for a bit more catch.
I believe they put either Pango or Dead Prophet on the off lane, and looks like it's going to be Weaver as position 1. So they don't have that great catch early on. Okay.
Slark. But it still feels like you're going the right direction. Weaver is going to be the 3, I think. It could be the 4, though. Luna for Sumail. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, very interesting. And a very fast snap response to a Slark as well.
Yeah, Luna is not a hero that, counters Slark by any means. Like, what do? You use Lucent Beam on him? But they already know what they were going to pick. I felt like no matter what they picked, they were just going to go with Luna anyway. And that's why I liked OG as a team, like their confidence and their innovative style of playing Dota.
Yeah, it feels like they knew exactly what they wanted.
Okay,
I don't know if it's
Roger.
lagging.
Yeah, same goes for me.
Yeah. We'll blame that. That's what's happening. So which way are you leaning? We
can't be lagging both of us in 2 different countries. It's not our internet.
Void Spirit, Seb, DK, Sumail,
Luna can build like different kind of items.
OG supports Earthshaker Enchantress is something they love to play. This kind of almost 2 position 4s where Earthshaker gets a bit more farm priority going into 10 to 20 minutes to get that Blink Dagger. But early on, Enchantress is going to be that pressure hero, making sure that roaming between the lanes with Earthshaker kind of bouncing between potentially off lane and bot can make some action happen.
It's a good Slark game to start with. They don't have like a real hero that threatens Slark. There's no like AoE damage that you can throw on the ground. Okay, there's an Earthshaker, Void Spirit, some of the spells, but he's not afraid of those. Like, if he's fast enough, he can always get out of anything with the Dark Pact. Even if it doesn't, there's Oracle sitting behind him.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I was going to say, the thing that worries me is maybe Void Spirit Aghanim's Scepter coming out early on, getting that silence. From Resonant Pulse, because you look at these heroes, Weaver, DP, Slark, if they get jumped, silenced, and Oracle isn't in position, I feel like OG can burst down heroes reasonably quickly just because of the natural squishiness here of HellRaisers. But of course, that's an item timing that Mid One definitely needs to keep in mind. As we get ourselves underway, game 1 of this best of 3, OG taking on HellRaisers. Getting ourselves into the lane with Saxa on the on the Earthshaker. Got Mid One, Void Spirit, Sumail, Luna, No-Tail Enchantress, and down bottom, as we see Seb wandering down to bottom lane on that Dragon Knight. And what do we have on the Dire team? Roger is the Weaver, so it's a 4 Weaver, 3 Pango, Funnick taking up the reins of the Pangolier. Miposhka, Oracle, Xani playing DP, and Nyx playing the Slark as OG coming into this Dire jungle very early on, forcing Miposhka away from his outpost, and that's 4 heroes making a nice little excursion into the forest.
The popular build on Luna these days is like you get Helm of the Dominator. I'm gonna call it a new aura. We didn't see too much out of Luna. You get base damage bonus and you get base armor bonus. So you get Helm of the Dominator, get extra damage from that. You might get Alpha Wolf. Then you have like triple abilities that increase your team's damage. And this opens up the Roche. You can stack with the Helm of the Dominator for yourself. And it's a very snowbally thing when you have this kind of a Luna. Like, you just clear out tier 1, tier 2 towers so easily. You take one fight near the enemy base, tier 3 and Raxus might just fall.
Yeah, and I guess you don't really have to worry too much about keeping Void Spirit or DK alive. Void Spirit, very slippery, you can dodge in and out of team fights reasonably well here. HellRaisers, they've got Gap Close and Reach, but they don't have that much actual catch. They don't have many, stuns or... oh, is that Observer Ward going to die up there? My Posh will take it out. But they don't have many ways to consistently catch the Void Spirit. Slark Pounce if he's invis, maybe with, Oracle Fortune's End, but it's a difficult one. So if Luna's the only hero you really have to worry about saving, you can hold your Blink Echo or your Fissure to save Sumail's Luna, and then you've got this tanky DK, the elusive Void Spirit, and you're talking about the damage amp coming out of Luna. When you've got a tanky hero, an elusive hero, and then one core that you can save with an Earthshaker, you've got so much sustain in these team fights with that damage buff on them. I was wondering about the OG Death Ball, and I think Luna is going to be exceptionally strong at grouping up early on and taking big team fights.
Yeah, I think the team fights are gonna last like very long time, in and out. Both of these teams have elusive heroes, hard to kill. There is save on HellRaiser's side with the Oracle. Also, I want to see what item Luna gets as her second item. Like, after you get Helm of the Dom. Helm of the Dominic, man. They should rename this.
Helm of the Dominic. I kind of missed that from Dota 1, having heroes and stuff named after players. What do we have? We had Yafet's Shadow Fiend.
Merlini's Zeus.
Merlini's Zeus, yeah. I've forgotten most of them now. Jeez. Need to go back into the history books. Well, there were a couple of them. There were plenty. Looks like we're back underway. Nyx into the game once more. So top lane, No Tail to take a bit of a beating from the Oracle as the lanes all swap around. Oracle shifts down to bot to lane with Slark against DK, so that's the matchup HellRaisers wanted. And OG tri-laning with Earthshaker, Enchantress, and Luna up here against a Weaver and a Pango.
It's such a strong lane on the top. You have Luna with the Lunar Blessing. Like, what does Ench get from it? 0.6 armor, damage increased by 15%, so extra, like, 7 damage in the laning stage on top of Impetus. That's pretty big.
Yeah, nice little courier snipe by Roger, though. Takes out a sentry ward that Saxa was bringing up top. So Weaver going to have a free time continuing on. No Tail grabs himself a little Vul Assassin. He's got the poison spears. He's just farming jungle. He's just chilling. Funny, trying to gather whatever farm he can.
Vul Assassin. I still can't remember that damage reduction. He actually has a heal reduction on Vul Assassin.
On the poison?
Yeah.
Oh wow. How's that mid lane going? Looks like it's pretty decent for both sides. Very even CS-wise, but mid one, of course, taking the brunt of harassment. Tipping Kasani there as Spirit Siphon's coming out. Continually just spamming down mid one, controlling the wave very well.
Mid one adjusting with the build, going for earlier point in the Simulate, which I like, so he can break the Spirit Siphon. It's definitely, I would say, a Dead Prophet favored matchup, even though you get farm with Void Spirit hard to shut down, and once he hits level 6, you need to be careful. You might not get the Spirit Siphon off if you're trying to play more aggressive into it. He's a hero that can dodge all of it with his spells.
Seb. It looks like he's fine. Dragonite 6 and 1. Slark, of course, pretty much free farming down here. Just not much Seb can do down here alone. He is just soaking up whatever he can, doing a very good job dragging a little bit of the wave back, trying to manipulate the large camp with those trolls in it. But it's just a real rough time down there, especially when Slark now level 3. He's got the pounce and the 2 points in the essence shift. If Seb even oversteps by an inch, he could quite easily die, especially with the Orb of Venom now up on the Slark as well.
Yeah, 2 points in Essence Shift. He needs to be careful. They have 2 ways of stopping the TP. Even though he's getting a lot of XP on the bottom. Level 4, 3.5 minutes in, which is pretty nice. He bought the Wind Lace for himself to have any kind of extra movement speed, and here they come. Just kidding.
Yeah, they're just poking and prodding at him a little bit. No Tail's actually going to come down here and help out. So they get Seb to level 4. Nyx trying to trade hits, but Seb is still a tanky boy. And Miposhka can't really deal with this No-Tail Enchantress now. Picks up the Dark Troll. Gets a good amount of damage in, trying to burst him down little by little. Nyx doesn't land the pounce, but they still get the Purifying Flames. And Seb won't be able to turn and kill. Maybe they have another trap. They had it in a second, but the salve is there, and Nyx will walk off. Claiming First Blood, Enchantress falls. But I think that's something OG were reasonably happy with. They went for an attempt trying to pressure HR. They give away their position 5. They keep Seb alive. It seems all right, all things considered, but still very good for HellRaisers to get that First Blood and in a Slark lane as well.
Look at how spread they are on the map. Like, they have 1-1-1 on the lanes, and 2 others are just walking from one lane to another. Like, they secured Luna's farm early on. Now she's level 4, Magic Wand, Fairy Fire. Weaver can't deal with Luna right now. Usually she's the one who's bullying the supports. But it's not the case here. Like, 2 stuns, stun into another beam, Weaver's dead. Also, you need to be careful about positioning yourself with the earlier points in Shikuchi. Same goes for this Swashbuckle. It's a very long cooldown.
Well, looks like they will be able to grab up one of the bounty runes top as mid one takes the deeper one. Still 3-1 there for HellRaisers as Miposhka grabs up 2 of them. Early raindrops on him. Miposhka trying to deal with that breathe fire from the DK. Top lane, oh, the sentry's down. Saksa finds Roger with the help of Sumail. Evening things up on the scoreboard and getting Luna a kill, accelerating her a little faster into that Helm of the Dominator.
Once you get to level 6 with Luna, you don't necessarily need to get a kill. You mostly want to save that ulti for like defensive purpose. It's just a threat of Eclipse, so you can like farm in the laning stage and not necessarily get a kill.
Like threatening people, if you chase me, I'm gonna Eclipse and you're maybe gonna die. Mid one. Jumping aggressively onto Xani here, and Miposhka trying to arrive, but the final Astral Step gets mid one out of dodge. Roger also is making a rotation in there as HellRaisers kind of collapse both of their supports in towards the Void Spirit. But I can't take my eyes off bottom lane, you know, this Slark Oracle lane has lost against a solo DK with one rotation of an Enchantress where she fed.
Structures are fortified.
Like, I feel like if you're not dumpstering this lane, you've lost it, right?
Yeah, that's massive. When you had a
Mid
safe lane DK.
Mid one does get Fortunes ended up, but Saxa's here with a really nice Fisher into the 2-man Enchant Totem hit. Oh, the Pebble from the Golem doesn't land on Roger. He got just far enough away with the Shikuchi. And Saxa saved from the bugs by mid one. As Xani could maybe get jumped here again. Mid one, 7 seconds for another Astral Step. Looks like I'm not going to go diving just yet. First Exorcism though, not really gathering too much here for HellRaisers. And the Pebbles just keep on coming from No-Tail, these Golems. Throwing boulders at them.
Well, they dealt some tower damage, half HP, but still all the other lanes are going well for OG. I thought Dragonite is, you know, gonna lose his lane, but Seb, it's always nice to see him back in the action. He is level 6, putting a lot of pressure on the tower. I mean, Dragonite's pushing tower solo. Now they even rotate Beaver to the bottom lane.
Oh, he was doing so much against that Slark. Nyx was close to death. They will jump onto Seb now, pop the Shadow Dance, as finally Slark has hit 6 and should be able to gather his first stack of that Essence Shift bonus.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, Dragonite hit 6 because he's in that solo lane, right? He hit 6 before the Slark, pops his ulti, gets damage on the tower. He was chipping away at Nyx. Now they force that 2-hero rotation, and it feels like HellRaisers want to swing mid again as OG prep themselves. Enchantress and Void Spirit harassing the Death Prophet back. Top tower has gone as Sumail with that catapult makes short work of the objective, and they've got those little hurl boulders onto Xani. Grab up the rune for mid one.
Dire's middle tower is under
No
attack.
rune.
Nope. Rotation so far from OG's supports were on point. Like going to the bottom lane for a minute or two, just giving Dragonite, you know, some CS. Rotating to the top lane around the catapult timing, defending the tier 1 tower on mid against that Prophet ulti. And now Luna, like, look where she's farming. Helm of the Dominator completed, about to hit level 7. So this ulti is pretty devastating.
What's your dream creep here? Like, first creep, Helm of the Dominator.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What's your
I think you
ideal
get either like a Centaur or Troll and Snare. You don't want to get Wolf early on. It's still good for the damage, you know, when you're grouping around, but having extra slow or stun is much better. And Enchantress can also take creeps, so there's going to be a lot of those. You can mix them up.
Well, we're going to have a big fight mid. OG trying to look for that tier 1, but Xani saved up. Miposhka still not level 6, tries with the Fate's Edict to save up the DP. Looks like Xani's still going to get shredded by the Eclipse as they take down Seb in exchange. But the turn from HellRaisers with the Slark's arrival. Nyx pops the Shadow Dance, but he's been fissured up. Saxa doesn't have Echo Slam. He's walking into this fight, but they'll bring Nyx down thanks to mid 1, turning it into a bonus kill on Funnick. Roger and Miposhka, the two supports, have nothing left to do here apart from maybe burst down No-Tail, but he's too tanky until the final Purifying Flames. Miposhka and Roger maybe in a bit of trouble here. Shikuchi in a second, they've got the save from the Oracle again. As OG feels like they came out on top of that fight, especially if they can get that tier 1 in the mid lane as well. First big clash behind that tower. HellRaisers were the ones that were forced to respond. As mid 1 grabs a haste rune. Looks like he'll be alright to walk away from the Oracle. Mid tier 1 still standing, Lacoste.
Yeah, love the aggressiveness. They're playing behind tier 1 tower. They are gonna pick up 4 bounty runes. Supports, they need to be level 6. Roger only level 4 at the moment. Oracle level 5.5. Roger was not having a good time.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
It's been really rough for these supports, hasn't it? Level 5 and level 4.
Golden thread.
And where do you go now as HellRaisers, right? You all TP and rotate into mid tier 1 to defend it. And then OG are straight back out onto lanes, pushing out side lanes, farming top on the Earthshaker to try and accelerate towards the Blink. Bottom tier 1 looks like with the Elder Dragon form up in about 5 seconds, Seb will shift into action there. Not going to have the help of Luna just yet. Sumail very content farming jungle. But you can see how desperate HellRaisers are to get momentum. They are bringing everyone down bottom lane apart from the Weaver who can TP, and they're going to make a move on to Seb. Fortune's End with a swashbuckle forward. They're even going to Rolling Thunder this. Nyx is there with another pounce if he wants to leash up the Dragon Knight. Seb's very tanky though. 6-1 charges is still up and running. He's going to try and pop them and walk it off, but he's surrounded.
Team? Yeah, no one around him. They understand that he's dead, so they're just going to be playing other part of the map. All these creeps, like look at the auras. Unholy Aura, Lunar's Blessing, Helm of the Dom, Ice Armor.
Not this time.
Med1, he's rushing Ags, which I like. This Ags has to be one of the best ones, at least the ones you're getting this early on. I would say like Zeus is the second one, but Zeus usually gets it as like second, third item.
Exactly, right? Like first item Ags, it has to be Void Spirit up there. If not top, very close to it. Good little catch on to Roger, taking out the Weaver. Saxa's first Echo Slam, putting him even closer to that Blink Dagger, now about 800 gold away. And the fact, you know, you talked about it, they let Seb die bottom lane, they didn't move down to help him, they didn't TP, they didn't react. They took mid tier 1 as, mid 1, diving in to try and look for Miposhka. Xani does turn to battle with a disarm now from the swashbuckle. He's going to have to dissimulate to jump away from this. He's holding onto it to try and maybe get to low ground. Still holding it there, he's moving out. Mid 1 will be safe and sound. Funnick looking for another jump in though as the Rolling Thunder ends, but he's stunned up. So that Dragon Knight, Dragon Tail stuns him. They do catch him, but Funnick has the backup of Miposhka. HellRaisers disengaging. Slark not really in a position to get involved in these fights. OG just positioning themselves so well to take objectives, back up each other. You know, they kind of dangle a kill here, let someone fall, but they are making the moves that will get them into this mid game in a much stronger position.
First.
I'm just scrolling through the items. Slark is going for Shadowblade first item. My friend, this is not 2015. I've seen Slark 2 days ago where he was going for Echo Saber into Heaven's Halberd. I believe it was Virtus Pro, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool.
Well, very, very cool, but not very effective.
Innovation. Not necessarily intelligent. OG. Still kind of prepping up top lane around the outpost. Sax are farming away mid for that Blink Dagger. It's the safest place for OG, an OG hero to kind of show out on the map right now. Hold that mid lane, make sure no pressure comes onto the tier 1. I'm interested though, Sumail going into the Dragonlance at this point after the Helm of the Dominator. Or the pinging Seb. Funnick and Roger have set up for this. Xani's in there. There's a tornado flying out and slowing down the Death Prophet, so Seb will just
100 movement speed.
What are you doing? You can't move. You've been trapped up in a fissure now, being jumped by the entirety of OG. Miposhka has False Promise. Still waiting in the shadows here, holding that tree line as Funnick. Fake pumping Rolling Thunder. This time he'll go for it, but they blow up Xani.
Blow him up.
Oh my god, they don't even get the save. Oracle falls immediately after. Sumail's diving under the tier 2 tower. OG, 5 heroes strong, into this dire area of the map. The entire map belongs to them right now. There is just no response from HellRaisers.
It's a tough choice from Oracle. Like, you do not want to pop it straight away, but OG, they realize the moment they had, so they use the spells at the perfect timing and they snipe him. Like, you do not want to use Oracle ulti on DP who's half HP, then it means that you're fully committing it. OG is playing so well around Death Prophet. They didn't allow Death Prophet to achieve anything with her 2 first exorcism. Tier 1 still standing on the mid lane.
Well, okay, Nyx Shadowblade, the first thing he does is steal 2 bounty runes under the nose of OG. If that's
Maybe they don't know. Like,
I
maybe
don't know
someone, I don't know, picked up Invis rune.
Miposhka obliterated. And this is the thing. OG can just jump in. Luna sets it up with a Lucent Beam. Mid one catches out. And the squishy heroes, right? We talked about it. HellRaisers have very squishy heroes. Pre-BKB, or if you're the one that's being dived and you're behind, it just feels so lackluster as Nyx does manage to grab a kill with Roger. Onto Saxa. Doesn't delay the blink though, I believe that was coming out. Yes, it's on his courier, so Blink Earthshaker is ready in 20 seconds.
It's the perfect debate timing. Like, oh, we killed Earthshaker, he does not have a Blink Dagger, we can take a fight. But, like, look what's coming. I want to see a smoke. Does he have enough gold to buy it? He does not, in Saxa. But someone else should buy it.
No
tower mid still standing. I want to see Ags on Luna. Like, she has Dragonlance. It's a decent tanky item. You can upgrade it later on into Hurricane Pike, which is great against the Slark. But Luna's Ags, it also is, like, not necessarily a late game item anymore.
Oh, they're catching Roger. I don't know if they need to... Yeah, they don't even need to expend Echo Slam. They've got enough damage just to shred through the Weaver. As quick as that. Nyx is trying to shove down bottom lane, get a bit of pressure onto tier 2. But this is the bot lane for the Radiant. They don't give a damn about that. They are going to go top, they're going to go mid, control up the Roshan area. Basically, OG right now, they are looking for a fight to try and take objectives. They want to beat down HellRaisers, take tier 2 top and mid, and look for Roshan in the next couple of minutes. And I'm looking at this Death Prophet Lacoste, 5,500 net worth, Eul Scepter, a recipe away. When DP Slark, your 2 big cores, you throw Pango in there, hell. When they are on the back foot and when they're being jumped by 3 heroes and there's no save nearby, like what is Kasani doing here?
Dying? I don't know. Like, he's level 10 and he's pinging out the ward. That one should be devoured, but at what cost?
It's a really rough one. But yeah, when you're on the back foot as this HellRaisers lineup, Roger's gonna get jumped. Chain stunned, dead, 6 feet under, Weaver. Hit by the bug spray.
Roger is not having a game.
There's something to be said, right, for drafting flexible heroes, but maybe over-flexing. You know, we love in drafts when we see Weaver, DP, with a Pango, and you're thinking, oh, they can go into any of these lanes. But when we now start to look at it and how things are being executed, yes, OG have played exceptionally well, but flexing all of these heroes is one thing. Being able to, build a draft and have comeback mechanism if your laning stage doesn't go well, or being able to group up as 5 and play together, that's difficult when you have a Slark, when you have a Weaver position 4 who doesn't really give you any catch or teamfight capabilities. Oracle is basically just a save at this point. You're relying on DP and Pango to have a good laning stage and take objectives and teamfights on your terms, but you just can't.
Like, who's their catch? They need to heavily commit with either Slark using aggressive pounce or Rolling Thunder, like to initiate a team fight.
It seems almost impossible. Nyx is cutting waves mid. Miposhka, not too far away, is there to back up the Slark if need be. But your mid tier 2 is dead regardless. Luna there with a Centaur. Has an Enchantress Centaur as well. Wait, they're caught. Saxa. They do bring the Earthshaker down. Notel tries to slow up Nyx. They've got the Remnant there catching Slark, who goes for the TP. Seb might be able to get the Dragon Tail in time, and he does. Just as the Shadow Dance ends, they blow up the Slark, and that trade is just not worth it. They wanted the quick pick on Saxa and the bail away, but Slark wasn't able to make it.
You don't expect them to play this aggressively. Saxla was probably like, the fuck, man, what's going on? Like, they're chasing me between tier 1 and tier 2 tower, and instantly sentry ward by Enchantress to see if there's any observer ward, and there's not. Like, they just found him with the Shadow Blade.
Here comes a bit of a push mid. Dragon Knight gonna shove that wave in. Looks like Luna not joining in just yet. Void Spirit and Earthshaker are both swinging down towards bottom lane. Mid one gets scouted by Observer Wards though on his way through. Oracle is nearby the DP. And they will be able to feel that one coming, or see it coming. As HellRaisers buying themselves a little bit more time, resetting the lanes, shoving out as best they can, and they're looking for a catch onto Seb's DK. Sentry Ward, that's a dire one. Rolling Thunder not going to get expended. The pounce onto the Enchantress, and No Tail, he's just out of there. Sumail has the Hurricane Pike done, so he's able to save people from that leash. Oh, Nyx wasted Dark Pact. Saxa doesn't get the Blink Enchant quite good enough. And mid lane, Seb, stunning at the DP. He is isolated and alone here, Dragon Knight. Gonna get sucked down by the Death Prophet. Seb burnt up by the Purifying Flames. Funnick looking to catch again, but HellRaisers really lacking in that catch department. Seb's even going to buy back here, and the Eclipse comes through. Slark in trouble, silenced up, but gets himself away with the ulti. False promise onto the DP as that Xani Death Prop isn't going. Needs to get something off the back of this. Seb's buyback's going to hold the line and defend the tier 1 regardless. As OG, 7 seconds for Earthshaker to respawn with the Blink Echo Slam, and HellRaisers yet another engagement where they get one kill, but they can't transition it into anything else.
OG should just run into Roche Pit right now. They know there's no Exorcism, there's no Rolling Thunder, and these are their team fighting abilities. Also, it was level 1 Death Prophet ulti. Like, you want to have it level 2. It's minute 20. Ghosts go from 8 to 16, they double, so it's a very big difference.
It sure is. Trying to work on the BKB now, Sony. It's real tough. I mean, Luna's looking towards a butterfly now. Helm, Pike, into butterfly, 12,000 net worth on Sumail, really the position 1 in this game. And, you know, you were talking about the ping, wondering what Sumail does to remedy that. Luna pretty much is just an A-click, you know, run-down lane hero at this point. You get a Helm creep, you A-click down a lane, you kill creeps, and you're farming up beautifully.
There's still tier 2 tower on the top lane, they're grouping around. No Tail TPing from the fog, so they don't know where he is, but HellRaisers, they've been doing a good job just trying to delay this as much as they can. They understand that OG is much stronger right now. They need an extra set of items. So Slark and...
Oh, they find the Weaver top.
Oh, Weaver.
Doesn't have time lapse anymore. Already used it.
Yep, they try to cut the waves as much as they can. Now they got the tower. It's fine if Roger dies there for the tier 1 tower on the mid lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And finally, HellRaisers, a bit of momentum going their way. Death Prophet trying to close in on that BKB. Has she spent her gold? Money? Oh yeah, Mithril Hammer coming out. That seems weird to me. Why Mithril Hammer instead of the Ogre Club?
Good question. I mean, if
I don't think I've
forget-
ever seen that, Lacoste.
Arcane power.
gold investment, I don't know.
That's a bit odd. They do smoke up behind the slot now. Saxa looking for the line of the Fisher as Roshan grabbed by OG. Still considering the jump onto Xani, but they need to find Miposhka, and that's the three-man silence. The angle slap from Saxa, they've got a beautiful jump, and they're going to take down HR. Weaver does get out of danger as the Rolling Thunder catches out a couple of OG on the way through, and the buyback from Oracle forced out. As Funnick, he's got a TP, but it's cancelled. He doesn't get himself away, and Sumail just continually spamming out these lucent beams, going to find the Pangolier. Fisher misses, but mid one should be able to close the gap here and very easily find the Pangolier trapped in the trees. Funnick trying his best for the swashbuckle and that lifesteal from Vlad's, buying a little bit more time, but it's just delaying the inevitable death of the Pangolier. So 3 kills, a buyback from Oracle, and OG yet again. They get Roshan, a big objective, they come into the fight and they lose nothing.
The execution is just perfect. Void Spirit uses Astral Step, finds 3 heroes with Resonant Pulse, silences them. Saxa Blink Dagger was not interrupted, so he could freely jump in. Bottom lane,
Fisher.
Slark in a bit of trouble.
And they've jumped the DP, choosing to go on the squishier target. Oracle still nowhere to be seen. Miposhka is towards the mid lane, so Death Prophet down for 40 seconds. They've caught the Slark as well. Oh, Nyx! Down you go. 2 big core kills in a row for OG and a tier 1 to boot. It is just dominoes toppling right now. HellRaisers doesn't feel like they've got a chance in hell this game.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Choice of talents in Luna. Cast range, Lucent Beam cooldown. Like, cast range is great for the Hurricane Pike. It got nerfed in the previous patch. The cast range was pretty garbage, like you need to stand close, so if you're saving your teammates, also for the Lucent Beam, he's just gonna keep spamming that. You do not want your tier 3 tower to fall. If your tier 3 tower falls, you're playing against Luna, your Raxes are gone, you can't take the fight anymore. Like, you either take a fight when tier 3 tower is alive, or you don't take it.
She's got full butterfly. Seb can finish off a halberd soon. Mech there up on the Enchantress, so they've got even more sustain to keep this fight going.
Oh, smart choice.
Has fallen.
They didn't take the fight. There's gonna be way too many bounces from Moonglaves.
There's the full lane. Saxa has Blink Echo up, 10 seconds time. They're TPing top to try and maybe catch Roger. Seb's Blink on cooldown though, so no way to get in there with a Dragon Tail. And they're gonna take themselves 4 bounty runes, it looks like. OG really closing the net around HR. Seb hunting for Roger, but it might be him that becomes the prey now as Nyx, the Stark, Apex Predator, looking for the Dragon Knight, but the turnaround from OG is here. Xani, almost annihilated, gets the false promise up from Miposhka, and they swing into action. No tail shredded. Finally, HellRaisers get a fight that maybe can be worthy, but Sumail's Eclipse doing so much damage and allowing him to shift out the Hurricane Pike. He's got himself the Aegis, don't forget. So OG group up around that and make sure the 3, no 4 heroes of HellRaisers are annihilated. Slark is the only one left standing.
Guides my blade.
Enchantress buying back there, like, okay, you used that Prophet, Alta, False Promise, plus a Rolling Thunder, I'll gladly buy back, I'll take that one, and GG's call. They understand that Luna can just easily take tier 4 towers right now.
She absolutely can, nothing to stop her whatsoever. Man, that is just a beautiful performance from OG.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I can't stop thinking about the Dragon Knight lane. You know, the way Seb played that bot lane against Oracle's Slark, he never got hit by the Slark. There were never any Essence Shift stacks up on Slark, and there was never any kill threat. And then they make one rotation from No Tail. No Tail dies, but they nearly kill Slark, nearly kill Miposhka. So then the kind of regen trade battle swings back towards DK, because they wasted so much mana and HP killing an Enchantress that the next 2 or 3 minutes they didn't have anything to try and kill the Dragon Knight. And then they just used all that momentum.
It's just these rotations were really on point from OG early on. They try lane top for a few minutes, Enchantress TP's bottom, give Dragon Knight a couple of CS, she dies, doesn't matter. Dragon Knight's getting what he needs. He needs levels, and he hits level 6. They put the pressure on Slark. Problem was with the HR's lineup, they did not have a good